The new Guardian builds, what's left of them, are up on the PTS. We take a look at them and more on this episode of the Escape Podcast for Star Wars The Old Republic. Our broadcast astromech today is EPC 389. And playing alongside me is Seema. Hi Seema, how's it going?
Hey Max, oh, it's going okay. We just finished up our ops night, which we had a busy night. We went and did Hive of the Mountain Queen, then we did Taboro's Courtyard, then we did Nightmare Nephra, then we had like 20 minutes left, and we decided to go quickly run EV because some of us still, play Galactic Seasons, unlike Max.
Only some. Yeah.
And we had the operation, so that was good for me because I got, 12 points is 12 points, man. I have computed, doesn't mean it's right, but I have computed that if I get 30 Galactic Seasons points a week until the end, I will finish right on the nose. And so this week, because of doing that operation, I have 32 points already. So,
Wow.
I could go to sleep until Tuesday if I wanted to.
You can skip 2 points next week, which you can't do, which is not possible. But
right. Or I could plan ahead. You're right. I could plan ahead and not just goof off
if you
until
skip
next week.
2 points for 3 weeks, if you add 2 points for 3 weeks, then you can skip a day. Because 6 points.
Yeah.
Multiples
You're
of
right.
3.
Well, I could skip a day. I mean,
Well,
I
you
could skip a day.
Yeah, you can skip most days.
Yeah, 'cause 30 points. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not most days, but I can skip a couple days. I tend to get one daily done a day because the other daily is either going to be PvP or Galactic Star usually. But some days I get 2. So anyway, yeah. So as you can say, I've been playing Galactic Seasons, been doing Conquest. This week during MFN, we went and did a 8-man Xeno because it's the Gree in town this week. And then we went and did Snowblind on Hoth. We rampaged all over I still say rampaged, even though it's not really the term anymore. All over the galaxy. And I switched to one of my leveling characters because with the double XP, it's over now, but when it was on, I was leveling characters, and I finished leveling an assassin and a shadow, and I have another shadow that's almost done, so I brought that shadow to MFN and got a couple levels on her. And then I made some progress on several characters I have that are like in the mid-60s. And like I said last week, the trick after you do that is to go to the casino, which I forgot today. But go to the casino and do your Emperor's chips so that I can tell what's going to happen at the end of the event. If I'm even aware, I'm going to have to log in every character and see if they have 1 or 2 Emperor's chips on them.
Yeah. I should just, when I log in characters and I'm doing Conquest, I've got a spreadsheet that I use every week now to track how many Conquest points I have on which characters. I should add a column for casino chips. Just the purple ones. That's the only ones you really need to worry about. Yeah, good idea.
Right. I mean, yeah, if I worried about the Kingpin chips, I kind of do want to play them, but that will take hours. So, how is it in the world of No Galactic Seasons?
It
Max?
is great. I'm feeling great. I'm good. I am done. I finished Galactic Seasons over the weekend. I ticked it off and hit 100. And yeah, it's interesting. I got up the next morning and I was like, I don't have to log in. I don't have to log my level 10 character in first thing to get the right POs. And I've got POs and I can just ignore them. It's kind of weird. You don't get anything for the priority objectives because the only reward, you don't get renown or conquest or anything for completing a priority objective. If you do a priority objective, you're probably completing another conquest objective at the same time. But it's kind of weird to complete a priority objective and not get anything for it. But I'm glad to be done. I haven't picked up any of the rewards out of the Galactic season since rank 10. They're all still in there. So I got to get my Arthur the Anteater out and give him all the gifts and gotta get all his armor and find some place to put all the stuff because I'm gonna have to
I get
empty
behind on
that out.
that too because I don't want to yeah, I don't wanna fill up my legacy
It's
cargo hold with
right,
stuff, but then I also don't wanna claim the gifts on the character that doesn't have him yet, and
right,
anyway.
right. So, but that's been fun. I've been logging in this week and doing things for fun and did it, got a couple characters to conquest just because I could, and I could do it however I wanted, and it was pretty interesting. But yeah, also had fun with all the stuff that we did on MFN and the ton of stuff we did in our team tonight. And I spent some time on the PTS, which we'll talk about quite a bit. So why don't we get on and get into that in the news?
Now, an Imperial News Network report.
So first up in the news, yes, the PTS is up. It did come up about 4.6 minutes after the podcast finished last week. It actually came up before I got the podcast edited and published on Friday. So it's, if people were getting the podcast at the same time the news was coming out that the PTS is up and here's everything about it, and disappointed that we didn't talk about it, that's because we recorded it before the PTS was available, as you would expect and as we said on the show.
Right, as we do. We do tend to do it before the BTS.
Only because whenever we do it is 5 minutes before the PTS coming up. If we,
That's
we
right.
we could have waited till Friday and the PTS would have come up on Saturday. So be
That's
thankful
right.
that we did it on Thursday so that we got the PTS on Friday. There's a bunch of threads up on the forums. We'll go into them in detail. What you should do. So there's a setup thread that shows, hey, here's how you get on the PTS and what you should do. That's a very important post, and we'll talk about that when we get into the details. There's a description thread of what there is to test, which is maybe not what you would have expected.
Bet you didn't see this coming!
So keep that in mind. You'll want to read that in detail, and then inside of there's also an article, which you're going to want to read as well. Yeah, in this article. So then there's an article that you need to read, which gives you a little bit of the background on what they were doing, and then there's a feedback thread where you can sort of post your notes and feedback. So unless you read through all of these things, you may and okay, we'll get into
Yeah,
it.
save it.
Read through
Yeah.
all those things.
Yeah.
That's just what I'll say for now. What else is in the news, Seema?
Yeah, so also in the news, we got a short story this week, which is always fun. This one is about Raz Ordo and his older brother Jakaya Ordo, who we met in the Spirit of Vengeance part of the story. And it's about them being brothers. It gives you sort of a look at Mandalorian culture and
Mm-hmm.
Mandalorian ways of looking at things. It does have a fight scene in it, and it's a pretty pleasant read. I would recommend it. And also, I loved all the comments afterwards. The comments were very positive. So,
Yeah, that's
must
great.
be different people posting on this thread than
Then on
on
the
all the other
Guardian thread.
threads. Yeah.
Yes. Well, no, I don't know. Could be the same people. They just hate the game. They just like they
They
like the
like the
writing.
stories.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good. It to check it out. It's fun. It's a good couple characters to write a story about, because it's not anything that then is going to interrupt or have to be shaped within the context of what's going on with Malgus, for example. They couldn't do a Malgus short story without probably a bunch of thrashing around what they could say now and what they couldn't and what's coming next. So yeah, picking these guys, picking Jakaya, who had the couple moments with Shay Vizsla where Shay was sort of forcing him to step up because she had stuff to do. That's kind of cool. And Raz going, we had to adventure with Raz to get Jakaya out of a mess, and on the Spirit of Victory, Spirit of something of the
Spirit
something.
of Vengeance. Yeah.
Yeah. So we've met these characters, and it's a good sort of scene and conclusion. Nothing earth shattering, but but well done story. And a well done little piece of art here. I forgot this. So this is the scene from Spirit of Vengeance where you have the fight at the end, and you fight the guy whose name I don't remember, but we got
Cole.
what's that?
Hedda Cole.
Hedda Cole. Hedda Cole, and that's who we got the portrait of as the gift for lots of SWTOR. However, I actually, if you're listening right now, the lots of SWTOR code still may work for the next half hour or so. But if you're listening live, if you're picking this up when I put it up on the feed, the code is done, unfortunately. But yeah, cool. And then one other thread that you should keep bookmarked, and hopefully will keep getting bumped up in the dev tracker, is this post, which I sort of glossed over when it first came up. This is going to become an important post from Jackie. So this is the color code post where she will continue to update what is on the PTS and in what state those features are at on the PTS. So this is the level 1 green, level 2 yellow, level 3 orange, and level 4 DEFCON 4 red, which means not available and not there. So you see, and this is what I glossed over, Jedi Guardian is up here. It's in the level 3. So this is how this is going to work. When they put in, say, loadouts will be on here, and they'll put it, at level 3 or level 2, or maybe they'll go right to level 1, and you'll know what state it's kind of in, and you can use that to frame your feedback then and your expectations of what's out there. So as you can see with the Jedi Guardian and the Jedi Guardian builds, which is what we got, is in there at level 3, partially available, orange classification. Not everything is going to be even there. Not all the UI stuff is even going to match up or work. Now you can understand sort of the place where it fits in testing. So if you get in there and you say, well, this isn't even complete, it won't be. It's level 3. They're telling you here in this post that it's not going to be complete, so don't expect it to be.
Yeah, I missed it at first too. I saw this post and I guess I skimmed it because I thought, oh, she's explaining what the colors are going to mean. I didn't realize she was actually giving us what they are right now, because I just missed this. I just missed the 2 words Jedi Guardian there until Max pointed it out to me. But yeah.
What else we got? Oh, yeah. What else we got going on that you've taken
we got
advantage of?
Nightlife, which I already mentioned. But yes, the Narshadow Nightlife event is in progress right now. It's kind of funny to listen to Narshadow General during this event because people talk about their experiences while they're gambling. And I was there one day and someone said in general that he's like, thank goodness for you guys, you're making this gambling so relaxing. And the other day I heard someone saying, like, I can't stop doing this. Someone take me out of here.
Yeah.
But yes. Yeah.
Yeah, not bad. So did you have any success in gambling?
I've been getting, well, yeah, I mean, I got another Rhodian, of course. But I got, I've just been getting certificates and Kingpin chips. And I do want to go and spend the Kingpin. The thing is, I don't want to like fight and tussle with people over the machines.
And those did they not add any new Kingpin machines this year? That's kind of disappointing.
I guess there are Kingpin machines in Meksha.
Oh, there are. Oh, Kingpin. There's Kingpin. I meant the Emperor machines.
Oh no, the Emperor machines. There's really no issue.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's at least 2 on Narshadow, and also I've just never. I mean, the most I've ever had to wait was a couple of maybe a minute while someone finished up on the Emperor chip machine.
Okay. I guess you don't have that. You don't have like the 1,000 Kingpin chips that people are getting off of their Emperor tokens. So that makes sense.
I do. I probably do have 1,000 Kingpins, but yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't know. Yeah.
You'll end up with very many. So hey, community and guild news. In community news, shout out to stayalive_7 on Twitch. Stayalive_7 is a streamer, does a little bit of SWTOR streaming, and he's sort of known to some of the streamers in the SWTOR community. He and maybe some of his team there is gonna probably come join up and join AIE. So keep an eye out for the go live notes in our AIE Discord for stayalive_7. Do some follows of Stay Alive, and sounds like a very AIE aligned community. Sort of, he's a dad. He's got kids. He's gonna bring his kids along. Come play with us. We're that kind of family friendly, inclusive community, open to anybody, casual. But this seems like a great fit. So really glad to have him on board, and can't wait to hang out and do some stuff.
Cool. Yeah.
Stuff like our weekly guild activities. Tuesday nights we've got our big mandatory fun night, which we talked about in detail. Every Friday continues to be the rotating events that we have as well. I think tomorrow night is achievements. So we're going to do another achievement night. I don't know who's going to be running it. I think BC may be running it. Kyo, who's been wrapping up, I think, finals and stuff for some degree work that's been going on. And then we'll have coming up soon what we've been talking about for a couple weeks now. Our big summer event for AIE will be coming up starting on the 25th with a virtual town hall that will be both in Discord and in our VR environment in Altspace. And then we will have a week of events, including a big Tuesday night event for Star Wars: The Old Republic for our guild, where we'll be doing one of our player-made Amazing Race events, which are really a top-notch, top-quality player event, which is really, really cool. So keep an eye out for those. Those will be coming up before long, and check out Discord for more. In fact, there's even a big blog post up on aie-guild.org all about the summer event. All right, Seema, did you expect what we have on the PTS? Because I did not expect it.
I did not.
Didn't see this coming!
That is not what I expected to see coming. So that's sort of my kickoff to us talking about the PTS. So here we are on the PTS. And the reason I didn't expect it, if I'd read all the posts that we're talking about, and we'll go through those in just a second, if I had read all of them in detail, then maybe I would have had some better expectations. What I came off of and what I came out of was watching the stream and that stream event. And I heard about all these things. Here's what's coming in 7.0. Here's what's coming next. This cool stuff. And I'm like, hype. Yay. This is the kind of stuff. Manon, I want to see Manon. And here's we're going to get a flashpoint. And I didn't expect that we're going to see story. We never see story on the PTS. But combat styles where I can take my Sork and I can get, I can get abilities from the Marauder. And, we're going to say loadouts. I've been waiting for loadouts for years. And I got on the PTS, and there's none of that. Nothing out of the stream. Nothing. And in fact, I went back through and looked at the slides to see if any of the slides said like, oh, and we're going to do some ability tuning and culling and specs, and we're going to show you one of them. And that's going to be like a big component of 7.0 or 10th anniversary. Nope. It's not. They did not have a big slide on that. Apparently at the very end, they said, we'll put the Guardian up on the PTS. That was described. But what's on the PTS is not combat styles. It is not loadouts. They call it the combat style for the Guardian, but only because they don't say advanced classes anymore. That's just called combat style. So all that's in there is Guardian and Guardian abilities and Guardian specs. So
I always knew that it was going to be very limited on the PTS, and I did catch them in the stream saying it was just going to be Jedi Guardian, but since they said combat styles,
right,
I came into it with an expectation that either you would be on a Sork and be able to take a Jedi Guardian spec, or you would be a Jedi Guardian and you'd be able to take a Sork spec. So
right.
I mean, or a Sage, yes.
Marauder or Sork or whatever. Yeah.
Right. And so, so that was, and like you, if I would have read those, especially the one post that had the spoiler in the center, if I would have read that post.
Yeah.
that would have adjusted my
Yeah. So there's 2 posts.
expectations.
The let me close these other ones. The what is on what did what is, I don't even know what they titled
And
this
and I
post.
mean,
Yeah.
Jackie posted this on the 8th of July, so,
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean,
right away. It was our
we
fault.
could have read it.
But,
Yeah.
you know us, we were elected to
I'm
lead,
not
not to
exactly
read.
I'm not sure how I missed it because I usually do read everything that's in the
Well,
dev
it's
tracker.
very many words also,
Well,
which is part of it. But a
it's a
lot
lot of
came out
words,
that day. I
yeah.
remember there was like 4 big posts that came out that day. So it was like, okay, all right, I see. Okay, the PTS is up. Here's the feedback thread. Here's this other thread. Here they're saying what's up there. I will
But I
get to
did miss
this.
this particular post, I did miss.
Yeah. So that post, and then this one, which is the article, which is not a post. It was linked out of that main post, the Jedi Guardian on the PTS post. The article that's linked. This is actually really important, and I did not read this in detail until we were prepping for the show. And while we were prepping for the show, before reading this, I was putting down some relatively ranty comments like, why didn't they explain what they were doing here? They gave us no philosophy behind what they're
No
trying to change.
context.
And here, top paragraph in this article, we wanted to share some of the philosophy behind our changes to the Jedi Knight. Oh, my bad.
Again, right. It's so they did say it. Yeah, I mean, I was with you on that one.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's still not, if you read all the things now, you'll get about halfway there. You still won't
You
understand
kinda
everything that's on the PTS, and it won't match all of your expectations, but you will get a lot of the way there, which is good.
right,
Which is
which
good.
is which I applaud them for. I
Yes.
mean, this is what we asked for, and then they gave it, and we're like, "See it."
Right. So if you put this together, and you put this together also with this is an orange classification level 3, set of putting it up on the PTS. So this is just like the start of it. If you put all of that together, you should feel much better about it. So when you go and look at the feedback on these threads, you scroll down and start looking at the feedback, and it's like, this is the worst thing ever. You have ruined the class forever. I shall be unsubbing now. Yeah, that is not the appropriate response. That person did not read. And in fact, even doing all the things they do, there's some bugs which may even give you a worse impression of what's available and what's not. Now, there is enough to talk about and dig into, and even some valid criticisms of sort of where they've tried to make
Yeah,
some of the
some
trade-offs they've
people
got. And
are
we'll get into
giving
them.
actual
Yeah,
constructive feedback, so I
right.
don't wanna downplay that.
Right. And valid stuff. And I'm starting to agree with a lot of it now that I'm digging into it. And I spent some significant time. I rolled the vigilance. Is it vigilance? Yeah. And I rolled the Guardian, the tank spec, and the DPS spec. I went as far as, so here's the DPS spec. I went as far as, I don't play Guardian all that much, so that was a little bit of a problem. But I went as far as going to some of the guides and going to Merlin's and setting up my bars and my rotation of, if I was respecking my Guardian, to see what it would look like. And that gave me a really good view of what the core abilities are, what they are today, what we would expect them to be, and what I'm getting in this loadout A or B on this version of the DPS spec, and how it matches up with what the rotations are today. Much more than that gave me a really good view. Let's put it that way. So just to be clear, what is on the PTS is the Guardian, and it's a couple specs of the Guardians. And when we say spec, it's you could think of it as a loadout or a version of the DPS spec or a version of the tanking spec. And when we say a version, that's because what they've added in to how you will be progressing down what abilities you get is there will be some choices to make, apparently. And this is kind of a new system, and they didn't really describe this until these posts and being able to sort of see it on the PTS. We actually can't even see on the PTS yet how you make those choices and when you make those choices, what we get is some choices already made. And you get a path A or a path B to choose from. So if you look back at this post, you scroll down like at the bottom, they say vigilance A or vigilance B. What they're saying there is in here, what they did is along the way, they made some choices and they're just going to give you a version of some choices made. An
Right.
A version and a B, an A and a B. This isn't the only way you could do it. There might be other ways, other choices you could make. But here's a couple ways we expect people to make some of these choices. Try it out. Okay.
It's similar to like if you decide to skip ahead in the story and they
Right.
make story decisions for you.
Right. So they made some decisions for you. There's 2 to try out. There's 2 sort of versions of the spec for the defense and 2 versions of the spec for vigilance for one of the DPS specs. Now, what we've discovered in looking at what they've given us in each of these versions is there are trade-offs to be made, and there are some abilities that don't exist in either of them. So what has happened is a little bit of ability consolidation or ability culling. You might term that when developers need to do this. They've yanked some abilities out of the game, and in having trade-offs means you might not get to have all of the abilities. You might have to make some decisions, and you might not if 2 things, if it's a choice between saber reflect and saber throw, you might only get one of those even though you want both. Okay, that's interesting. If you think they're giving you a choice between 2 things and both of those things are critical to the class, then you might have feedback in this thread that say, both of these things are critical to the class. This feels bad to me. Put these on different tiers or make it so that I can choose both of these things. That's valid feedback. The way they asked for the feedback, and because there was a lot to read through, I think they sort of set themselves up to get a lot of negative feedback, because what you got was a bunch of people that play Guardian all the time that know the Guardian class really well, jump on the PTS, see some abilities taken away, and then the question was, does this feel like a Guardian to you? If you've never played the game before, then the answer, I don't see why the answer would not be yes. It's, I can be a tank. I've got 1 saber. I've got a bunch of abilities to, do some damage and, do some defensive cooldowns. And yeah, this is a Guardian. The Marauders want the one with the 2 sabers, right? Why would this not feel like a Guardian? In fact, as I said, looking at the rotations, it's like 95% of the abilities in the core rotation for tanking or DPS. So from that perspective, I would think the answer would be yes. But if you're a Guardian main and you use all your abilities, the answer, of course, is going to be no. I don't have saber throw. I use saber throw all the time. This is not my Guardian. The answer is going to be no. So if you look in the feedback thread, 90% of the responses are, does this feel like a Guardian? No, it does not feel like a Guardian. I'm sorry, you have broken this. It does not feel like a Guardian. No. It's scroll through where's my feedback thread. So just my answer was to that question was just kind of yes, because I don't play a Guardian. What about you, Seema? What was your answer to that question?
I have a Guardian character. She's a crafter, and she hasn't left her stronghold in probably 5 years.
So does this feel like that Guardian?
Yes, because I'm
Yes.
what I did was I came on the PTS and I made the character and then I ran around in circles. So yes, for me it does. But
Yeah.
I knew going in that I wasn't going to be able to provide Guardian specific feedback because I don't play that character in any spec.
Right.
Um,
Neither do I. But I have played it. So it's not like I have no experience with it. I have played
right.
it.
You have. But I will say that the process of, even though when you read the directions of how you do it, it seems like it's kind of like the way they write the directions, they say, go to this place and there's a droid there, but don't click on that droid. look to the right. There's
Right.
another droid. Click on that droid. I thought that was a funny way to write the directions, but the process of logging into the PTS, getting my character created, going, clicking, getting the thing, that all worked smoothly. So there's my feedback.
It
I
did
mean, because I
not
don't have the
work.
Guardian feedback. It took me a while to figure out because I hadn't informed myself before I did it.
So this first droid on the left, when you get onto the fleet, is the droid that you click on to get your abilities.
Mhm.
There are bugs, or there were bugs the first day the PTS was up, where you didn't get all of the abilities for the A or B that you necessarily picked. So some of that feedback in that thread could be people that just like clicked on it, got abilities, and got like half the abilities. And then if you don't, if you don't have, if you have like no focus builders in your rotation, well, yeah, then it's gonna feel pretty broken. So that's one potential issue. I had to click it twice, but I don't know. It still is a little. It's a little bit clunky. So let's talk about the rest of the setup. It was a little bit weird starting on Tython, having no abilities whatsoever, no opportunity to even get any abilities, going down to the platform and having to see that droid off to the side to get to the fleet. But okay, not too bad. And they described that in their setup post. Then in here, you got to like pick to get your abilities. Then you got to click on these other, you're getting your tactical items, your whatever tactical you want. You got to pick out a set of
Right.
gear, and it's all 270 gear.
Where I got hung up was A and Bs. Like, I don't know what this A and B is, and after I picked my specialization, then I wanted to look at my combat proficiencies, and you cannot, and that kind of stymied me. But that was, again, the fact that I didn't understand the context of what I was here for, and but the thing they described, which is going to Tython, clicking on the terminal, coming here, they noted that you might have to click on the combat specializer droid twice, but all that worked. And then, yeah, picking up.
Yeah.
I do. I'm with the people who say, why 270 gear? What do you actually want us to test on Onderon with our level 1 companion in our 270 gear? What
And
are you
now
after?
I'm looking here. I'm getting this gear now off of this droid. I'm getting a second set of Descent of the Fearless, and this is all 282 now. So and some 284. I wonder if because now I'm 270, that now when I got this off of this droid, let me see if I
Oh.
equip it. Now it's 282, 284.
Oh, so you
So
just have to do it several times to get up to 306?
maybe because same with you as you said. So this last droid in the line takes you right to Andron. So with a set of 270 and the level 1 companion, either I don't remember how hard Onderon was at that level, or there's been some other kinds of tuning, but my companion was getting two shot if it pulled aggro as a healer on just like regular non-strong trash mobs. My healer died almost on every single pull, and I ended up like down at 50, like 5%, just killing a pack of, the Flappy Birds or whatever they are.
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay, so now let's try it again. So that was one set was Descent of the Fearless. Now let me get another set and see if it goes up even higher.
I bet it does.
Yep. Now it's ticking up. Now it's 288, 286, 288. All right. So get a full set of the gear, equip it, and then go and get it again. And then keep doing that, and you'll probably be able to get up to well, wait. It's 288. What's the where's it gonna keep going to? So this is actually interesting. 288 gear. So 30 so I wonder if it's gonna go beyond 306 is sort of what I'm wondering.
Mm.
Because well,
Well,
we're still
I
only
bet
75, so no, it won't go beyond
75, yeah,
306.
yeah.
I was thinking 288. My numbers
You
were messed up
were
there for a second.
your mind was in the future.
So yeah, now I'm up to some 292 pieces even. All right. So maybe this will feel a little bit better. I got to get my weapons. Well, I could just pull the mods and enhancements out and then get a hilt somewhere. So, weird situation there. Weird situation also in that what we discovered that you can't even train the higher levels of, so they shut off the trainers completely. So you can't train any other abilities that might be on a trainer. So as you can see here, I have rank 1 speeder, which like Seema could probably run faster than me on my speeder. I feel like I'm on my log mount. So that's a little
Right.
weird. And then in addition to what is sort of in the main rotations and what's not, there are some other abilities that are missing that I'm wondering if they're just gone because they weren't part of the main Guardian spec. They were almost like at a base level and would be on a trainer and you would get them, but they're sort of left out. 2 in particular that seemed really weird to be missing was your stun breaker, and the interrupt. So force kick and resolute are both gone, which seems really weird to me because you've got fights in the game like Isaac's that's built around everyone rotating and using their interrupts, and everybody's got an interrupt. So if you're taking away interrupts off of a class, and then not having resolute your stun breaker, that's just kind of broken. I mean, that's required in PvP. That's how that works. So either something really dramatic and drastic is changing, and they're going to be changing the way fight mechanics work and not having those, or they're just left off somehow. And if that's the case, that's weird because are other things just sort of left off, or we don't know.
And it's orange.
And because it's in this orange state. So it puts us in a bind on what feedback do we provide? And am I being bad? Am I being a bad SWTOR PTS user if I get on the forums and go, wow, this seems really broken that you left off force kick and resolute? Are they going to come back and reply to me and go, we told you it's in an orange state. Why are you even making this feedback? Just answer the question. Does it feel like a Guardian? They're not going to be that snotty about it. I would hope. But is that the case? Am I wrong for looking at these things? I don't know. It's kind of a weird bind from a feedback perspective. The things that seem clear, because they've already sort of commented on it, is there do seem to be some trade-offs in some of the abilities. So I looked at sort of like vigilance here. Some of the things that do seem to be missing are some of the defensives are gone. Focus defense is not here, and Nur is gone from both specs. It doesn't seem like it's available in any of the variants. Saber Reflect is gone. Saber Throw seems to be gone from all of the variants as well, but it seemed to be something that you would be able to pick in one of the options that they gave as they sort of showed off what would be possible to pick. So in this first post, again, you got to sort of like read in detail, and I didn't completely understand what they were saying here, but like here, they say, in level 15, you'll get to level 15 and you'll be able to choose an ability or a passive from this list of 3. What I don't really understand is what these mean, these B and A mean next to these 3 options that they're giving me for level 15. Because I was kind of thinking, well, maybe they were just saying, so remember, we're going to give you a defense A and a defense B and a vigilance A and a vigilance B. These A and Bs, they don't match up with either of those A and B. So maybe they meant for it to match up and it didn't when they end up finishing up and putting the post together. So maybe these don't mean anything in here. So let's say they don't mean anything. Then what that means is in level 15, you could pick Blade Burst, which is a passive, I believe, and Energy Barrage, which is also a passive, or you could pick Saber Throw as an ability and gain that active ability. What they chose to give us in the couple variations of both the defense and the offense class were variants that happen to not pick Saber Throw. So it doesn't mean that Saber Throw is necessarily leaving the game. It means they happen to not pick Saber Throw as one of the variations. However, what this does tell me is there will be some picking going on, and we will get to some of these weird states where players are going to be making some pretty significant decisions. So here at level 15, I'm a new player to the game, right? I'm a new player to the game, Seema. And I come in and I get to level 15 and I read, there's 2 passives here. And I think I posed this question to you earlier. Do you want passive number 1 that makes one of your abilities become an AoE? Do you want passive number 2 that adds a little bit of extra damage to an ability called Blade Barrage? Energy damage, which, beyond just the force damage is going to do a little bit of energy damage as well. Or do you want the ability to take your lightsaber and throw it across the screen and hit somebody that's 30 meters away? Which one do you want? Boring passive 1, boring passive 2, or saber throw?
Oh, I mean, but I think that's a valid choice, right? Because when you're level 15, new to the game, you take the saber throw, or when you're level 15 and you're a veteran, you take the saber throw. But maybe when you're an end game and people have worked all the numbers, maybe one of those other passives is going to actually give you more DPS. We don't know, but
Right?
those are the kind of trade-off decisions you make when you're building a spec.
Yes. Yes, those are the decisions you make. And I think it does it may put everyone in a weird position where the obvious choice seems to be saber throw would be really good to have. But the real choice, if you do the math, is, energy barrage is just so much better in the kind of damage it would add. No one should ever take anything besides energy barrage, either for tanking or DPS or PvP, and you're dumb if you do. And so every new player, not that they're going to get told that they're dumb, but they're going to pick saber throw because it looks cool, and then they're going to get told that they did it wrong, even in a nice way. Oh, I saw you took the saber throw and you're throwing your saber around. I know that's kind of cool, but you really kind of need to be taking energy barrage. You're going to be doing half the damage that you could be doing.
Well, I mean, yeah, that happens.
That happens. But it doesn't have to happen. You could have like a well-formed DPS spec with all of the abilities. Right now, so there's 2 levels here. There's now choices that you might make that are just wrong in the abilities that you even took. There's already then what abilities you use in what order, which is your rotation. So it's very hard to get a rotation well, and there's a lot of learning that goes along with that. But just
I mean,
fundamentally,
they're only quote unquote wrong if you're, raiding. Really, I mean,
I guess.
if you're just out in the world, I think
guess,
the point
you can
is
just do
that you try to
anything. You can hit you can face roll,
I mean,
and you'll get through your class
well,
story.
right. Not only that, and I mean, it's kind of where they wanted to go with amplifiers, right? Is to give you, and tacticals is to give you cool things that you would use in different situations, and or that you could customize your character with. Those things didn't go far enough, in my opinion, to make you really feel like you were customizing your character. Like, you can't really make a character that runs faster or a character that
Or
takes less fall damage because
right.
it's too hard to do, and you need to do the DPS enhancing
It's
one
0.5%.
if you're going to go through the whole thing.
Right.
Yeah. So, but I think it's perfectly valid to have something that works when you're leveling and then you switch when you get to end game.
What about the angle? Okay, I'll agree with that. I think that's fine. And to just pick some fun abilities because they're fun. And I remember sort of doing this in World of Warcraft. There was the murder of crows. I could have like these crows that would like fly around my target. It wasn't great. It wasn't the right ability to pick. It wasn't the best for doing dungeons or whatever. But I got I got a bunch of crows that would like fly around. So I took an ability and I played with it when I was like questing, because who cares? And I got a bunch of, my murder of crows. And I love the word murder for a pack of crows. So that's valid. What about, and this is another sort of concern of mine. It was hard enough to just figure out the couple utilities that I needed to pick while I was leveling up, and to like read them and try to figure out what was going on and what I've even supposed to pick. Now I even have to start making decisions about abilities, and I don't get abilities as I level up. I gotta like.
It's like The only
learn.
thing that's constant is change, right? So, like, when we first started out, we had to make decisions, and then they went to this method where you're just on a path and you just make some decisions, which, the utilities. And so now they're going back toward more of a spec kind of thing where you do have to make choices. It seems like that's where they're going. I mean, maybe at the end of all this, you'll get saber throw and saber reflect. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I just wonder now if while they claim that part of what they're trying to do is some simplification, is the effect, because now these extra choices are going to be made, is it's actually a lot more complicated to level up a
Oh,
character
I
than.
yeah, I think the goal is more customization. I think that when they talk about simplification, I think they mean things like fewer abilities, not that it's going to be necessarily simpler to make. I think they're making the decision making more meaty if they keep going down this road.
So like this, they put in sort of their philosophy, their design philosophy, to make the class feel less encumbered and customization more concise. We are working to reduce the quantity of abilities, but ensuring that the class remains distinct. I do not feel like customization is going to seem more concise when suddenly every 5 levels I need to be
Yeah.
making choices.
I mean, those are some words for sure. I mean, what does
Yeah,
it even mean to say a
right.
customization feels concise?
So, I mean, interesting approach, an interesting something they obviously felt like they need to do. The idea of reducing some abilities just straight off the top, I think that's warranted regardless. All our
I don't.
bars are completely full. There are a lot of abilities in the game, and if they'd like to add more when you get to like level 80, get another ability or two. You can't just have ability bloat forever and have 50 abilities and 10 20 bar slots. They would have to like add a third and fourth bar so
So,
you could have all
I
your
mean,
abilities on your bars.
so take the stuff that people don't use
Right.
and don't like. Don't take the the class defining actions away. Like, I
Right.
mean,
Right. And or even if you need to take away something like saber throw, which is both a focus builder, so it's one of your one of your builders that you need to get the force energy to be able to execute more important abilities. It's also a little bit of a ranged ability, which is sort of unique to a melee class. If you do take it away, I know they wanted to like surprise us so we could like provide candid feedback. But if they said, we feel it's fine to take away force clarity or whatever else they took away, or what was my list of some things that they actually took away? Saber
interrupt.
reflect is
Mhm.
gone from from vigilance. You can't even get saber reflect anymore. We feel that's fine because we will be upping the defensive ability of armor to some degree, and we wanted to make sure that the tank class felt more distinct from the DPS class. So taking away that saber reflect defensive cooldown from the DPS, we felt achieved that goal.
Right.
So when you sort of give a little bit of that rationale, then people might be able to look at it and say, well, if I have to lose 5 abilities and you really want it to sort of be DPS focused and not feel like a a skank tank when I'm running around, doing a bunch of DPS cooldowns on my Guardian, maybe it's okay. Maybe.
And so I feel like when they ask the question, does it still feel like a guardian? Maybe in their minds are thinking, well, if we sculpt it in this certain way, we leave this out, but we up this and we have this result. If you play this set right now, does it still feel like a guardian? And the way we took it was, does it still feel like a guardian now that you can no longer do saber reflect?
Right. Right. I think you're right. I think we were sort of we're not we're not understanding the question that they're asking probably in a complete way, which
Right.
which is part of the issue, because yeah, without saber throw, without saber reflect, without kick, force
I
kick.
love saber throw, by the way.
I know saber throw.
I mean,
Everybody likes saber throw.
it's like right, because I mean, it's one of the reasons you play a lightsaber character that has saber throw is so you can saber throw. I
Right.
mean, it almost if it did no damage, I would still probably use it.
Right, right. It's, yeah,
It
well,
just
at
seems like
least
an unlikely.
make it an emote, I guess.
Yeah, well, I guess that would be a little I mean, if I'm
A
honest
little
with
bit of a
myself, would be
letdown.
a little less, yeah. But I mean, yeah.
So here's I did want to sort of show this off, this analysis that I did. Where's my other window? Did I close my no, I got it around here somewhere. Oh, my Merlin's analysis. So I did go to Merlin's guides and I looked here. I said, okay, well, show me. You tell me, Merlin. If you're not, again, look up Merlin SWTOR, search for Merlin's guides. His spec guides are really good. Um, you tell me what should a guardian feel like? What should the rotation be? Um, and almost every ability, like in this 20-step opening rotation, and almost every ability in the in the priority of the basic priority big four cooldown, almost every single ability is still there. I think just like one is missing, like Force Clarity, I think is the only thing that's missing. And it's the new ability that people didn't really use that much that much anymore anyway. It was sort of like the new level 75 ability. So if every single other ability, Vigilant Thrust, Sundering Strike, Overhead Slash, Combat Focus, Plasma Brand, everything that you're doing in your entire rotation, your basic damage rotation, all of them are still there. Okay, well then why does that not still feel like a guardian to you? And it didn't seem that bad to me. So my question, so posing it another way for people to sort of think about it, and I'll be interested to see what I feel like when they sort of show me what Arsenal looks like in the new world,
Right.
which is
Right.
really what would bring this home for me is
Right.
what would it feel like if they start taking some of my abilities away? And it's ability that I feel like I use quite often, for one. For two, the way to flip it around that I think would be an interesting question would be your healer class, your Merc healer, Seema.
Mhm.
If I had to take away 5 abilities and you have to give up 5 abilities, what 5 abilities would those be? Because we need to slim
Right.
things down. We've got to make some sacrifices. We can't have ability bloat forever. Take away 5 abilities. Yes,
So,
rock
I
it
mean,
out. I would give up rock it out. Thank you, chat room. Rock it out. Rock it. Pick me. Pick me by where I've got a suggestion. Take
so
away.
I mean,
Do I
I
get
just
credit for 2 abilities if you take away 2 rocket outs? 2 of my 5. Damn, I should, because that's my level
so
75 and my level 1.
I just
Anyway,
have to say, and maybe this is just a mistake about how I live my life in general, but I agree with you that you can't go on and just adding abilities forever. Where I kind of balk though is I don't feel like we need to take them out now. I think we could take them out like in the future. I think
and we're still
I
okay.
think
We
I
don't have as much
yeah.
ability bloat that is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really not that
But
bad.
if I yeah, I mean if I do have abilities that I never use. And when the few times in this game that I have done PvP, those abilities that I don't use,
Yeah, some of those come back on the bar,
then
don't they?
then they come back into play, and then I don't have room on my bars for them. So, perfect perfect opportunity for customization.
Right. Yeah. Right. There's plenty of abilities that just stay off my bar or don't even do, they don't like go on a sidebar to be swapped in once in a while. Uh,
Yeah.
and that's kind of okay. And like even a little bit of that situationally to have like an ability off on a sidebar that I might not always use and could probably give up, but I still throw it in once in a while, depending on, I got a certain kind of trash pack where if I had that dot ticking and I didn't have to keep spamming because I know how long this trash pack is going to live. Throwing out that that dot on the it's situational. Okay, that's kind of interesting, and it provides some opportunity, as you say, opportunity for customization and to
And
customize your
if I
playstyle.
literally if I literally could be the one that picked what to get rid of, then I'd be happy because I could pick the things that I'm underwhelmed by. And like say one thing I use a lot is my little AoE heal, the one that puts the powder on the floor.
Yep.
If they said to me, "Well, we're gonna take that away,
Yeah.
but we're gonna do this other thing in its place," I would think, "Okay, I wanna evaluate that."
Right.
'Cause I'm not in love with that spell to begin with.
And that
I don't like that I have to put a reticule on the floor. I don't like that it's green, and I don't like that it's a smoky, dusty thing. I like the operative one that's like these concentric circles. I think that one's cool. You know?
basically it's the cosmetics of the of the ability that I think Seema would like the opportunity to customize, which
Well,
that's
yeah,
really
that's
cool.
true. I wasn't even thinking about that, but that would be cool, yeah. But that would be kind of confusing for other players. It's like, "What's going on? Should I stand in this thing?"
Yeah,
That
what is that thing? I've not seen that before.
I designed my AoE. It's pink, by the way.
Pink circles. Stand in the
Right.
pink circles. So Zen put an interesting comment, which is, yeah, maybe ability replacement is better. Maybe we're going to take away Saber Reflect, but we're going to change it to something else, something that's more interesting or more dramatic, or take one of the abilities that nobody bothers to put on their bar, and replace it and upgrade it or turn it into something that's useful. There's probably some opportunity to do that with the list of abilities we have and not have to do ability culling right now. Um, so, but even if they are, and you're going to take away a couple of abilities, it's, thinking about what you could live with being taken away would be interesting for one. And for two, if we get the full discussion, like, yes, we're taking away one of your focus builders, but we're going to add +1 focus to the rest of your focus builders. Now, is it okay that we took that one away?
Right.
The
Right.
answer to that might be absolutely yes. Now I don't have to worry about,
You might end up with more focus.
right. Yeah.
I
Focus
mean,
isn't a
tweaks
problem because we're not taking away focus. We're taking away an extra ability that you thought you had to use to build focus. Okay. All right. Maybe that's perfectly fine. If
I mean,
I,
'cause at the end of the day, Max,
at the end of the day, when push comes to shove,
right, they are trying to make a game that's fun to play. They don't have any
no.
other Yeah, I mean, they don't wanna make a game that nobody wants to play.
Mind blown. I know. Yeah, exactly. They want to make it fun. This is their objective. They're not trying to ruin your day. So when you look at what they've done, come at it from that perspective when you put your comments into the forum. They don't hate the players.
Or do what I do. Do like a nonstop rant in my head for 2 days and then read
And then actually read the
and then
the
go,
posts.
"Oh, okay. I kinda get it now."
My bad, my bad. Yeah, we were really glad that we actually read through those posts. If we've gotten post show, we're like, oh, good thing we didn't like
Oh.
do some big misinformed rant all night on the show. I can't believe they're doing this. They didn't even put up a post that told us why they were even bothering to make these changes. And then somebody's like, guys,
The chat room would be all, "Yeah, they
here's
did."
the link to the post that they put up on the 8th. Did you not read? Oh, oops, my bad. So yeah. So yes, that's the state that we're in. It's a level 3, DEFCON 3 orange view of where Guardian is headed directionally. Take a look at it from that perspective. There still may be the opportunity to get all of the abilities and everything how you want it for like most of everything you use, while still being able to slim down some things, and maybe another overlay system here which provides a lot of flexibility to make a bunch of choices along the way and really customize your class to your liking and make it distinct and different than other people's versions of their DPS Guardian.
I do think what they need to do for the PTS is organize operations in 5-man groups, because it's literally impossible for someone who's wants to test out whether the Guardian tank
Yeah.
still works, or without I mean, without trying it in those settings.
Same thing with, I mean, you speculated earlier, they put up the healing spec. How are you gonna do that? By
Right.
going to yourself by yourself to Onderon and trying to heal your companion? you need an ops group, or
Right.
at least a flashpoint group, but you really need an ops group to get that feel, and that's really hard to do.
Right. All I can test is like, is it still the same degree of easiness versus difficulty doing quests on Onderon? Is that the question that needs to be answered when you're talking about healing or tanking, or even even DPS?
Right.
Dang it! I keep getting stuck in the furniture.
I can get stuck in any map anywhere. You give me 30 seconds and I can find a place
Well,
to get stuck.
I have to wait 74 more seconds before I can use /stuck again. Because,
just
I might get into a secret place or something if it was
just log off and roll another Guardian. All right. I think with that, we're done for now. We got a good look on what's up. I think we're ready to check out what's coming next and be excited about the new things that they're going to throw on the PTS. I think we should all keep an eye out for that. But for now, I think we can wrap up this current view. But everybody should get on there and try some things out and provide sort of that generalized feedback on the direction that they're going. That's what we're here for. Until then, we will kick off this EPC 389 astromech out of the airlock so they can broadcast this podcast to all of you out there. Please, if you'd like to keep up with the notifications that the podcast is going live or that it's been published to the feeds, you can follow me on Twitter at @MaxTheGray. And the main place to find both Seema and I is in Discord. You can find our guild Discord at aie-guild.org. That's aie-guild.org. There's a big link in the upper right. Gets right to our guild Discord. We've got a channel for SWTOR. We even have a channel down towards the bottom in the content creator section for the podcast. If you have podcast specific questions, we are on there pretty much 24/7. So please jump in there and say hi anytime. We've got guilds on both the Republic and the Imperial side of Starforge, not Keller's Void or any of those other old names that I tend to say. But on Starforge, jump in the channel, say, hey, I've got a Republic character. This is the name. At officer, is anyone around to give me an invite? And we will get you in, because that's why we do this podcast. That's what we're looking for. More people to come play the game with us, jump in on the PTS and be able to run an operation with us so Seema can heal you and see what it feels like. And with that, we will talk to you soon.
Later, everyone.